Hello, and welcome to another exclusive interview with me, Huw Edwards. Today we have a very special guest, so special that he's come back from the dead to speak to us. Louis XVI, former King of France. Hello, Louis. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure, Huw. You are from Wales, yes?
That is correct.
Perhaps we can discuss our mutual hatred of the English later and discuss battle plans to invade and conquer.
Whatever. Now then, tell me, Louis, you were executed on the 21st of January 1793. Was it deserved?
No, of course not. What did I do? All I tried to do was help my people. I tried to give them food and protection. And for what? To get my head chopped off and laid out here on this table?
Is that true, though?
Yes.
Well, let's start from the beginning. What was life like for the people before this whole revolution began?
Life was great. I had all the food to eat in the world. Me and my lovely wife Marie lived in this huge palace in Versailles. It was wonderful. We took strolls in the garden together when she wasn't with other gentlemen, if you know what I mean. I played hilarious pranks on my servants. They would come through the door and I would hide, and then, when they came in, I would stick my foot out and trip them up. It was hilarious. Ah, yes, life was so good.
That's great, Louis. But I meant, what was life like for the people, such as the people in the third estate?
Oh, well, I can tell you, life was good for them too.
Well, Louis, we have a member of the third estate here. Perhaps she can tell us what life was like.
That Louis is an idiot. What a buffoon. He had no idea what life was like for us. We were the only estate that paid taxes. We got involved in the American Revolution so he could defeat the English. And for what? We French just got saddled with more debt. It nearly bankrupted us. Not to mention the bad harvest that lasted from the summer of 88 to the spring of 89. We were starving. And what did Louis do? Nothing. Useless idiot. I'd chop his head off again if I could. You seem angry, love. Perhaps you would like me to give you some cake and to drop my trousers to humour you.
That won't be necessary, Lou. Can I call you Lou?
Sure thing, Huw.
Great. So how did the revolution start?
Well, I called a meeting of the Estates General. I had a great plan to raise taxes across all three estates. That way it's all fair. But the first two estates refused. They were locked in a deadlock for several weeks. I grew tired and decided to lock the third estate out.
And how did that work out?
Not too good. The third estate went next door and created a National Assembly. They then swore an oath stating that they would not disband until their demands were met.
And what were those demands?
They wanted a declaration of the rights of man and an end to the feudal system. Unbelievable.
Yes, how outrageous for them to ask for such trivial things.
I know, right? Anyway, I didn't sign off on them. Their anger would soon pass, you know.
Did it?
Nah. Instead, I was planning to build up my armed forces and crush these imbeciles. But word got out. The third estate formed a national guard and armed themselves with muskets. But they had no gunpowder, so they stormed the Bastille. They took the gunpowder and killed all the guards. Savages. Soon, a mob of women came marching to my palace in Versailles. Apparently, they heard that me and my queen had thrown a party and spat on the flag.
Is that true?
No, of course not. Why would I spit? I have servants to do that for me. Anyway, they came marching demanding bread. They broke into my palace and killed the guards. They took me and my family as prisoners, taking us to Paris, or Paris, as we French like to call it.
I am shocked.
Yes, I know. Who wants to live in Paris? Full of snobs.
I meant I was shocked they didn't kill you.
Oh yeah, that too. Anyway, me and my family were prisoners in Paris. We were kept at the Tuileries Palace. It was horrible. Kept prisoner in a palace. Who could survive? But I had a plan. I planned to escape. On the 21st of June 1791, Me and my family left in the middle of the night. Our plan was to get to Montmedy, only 2 kilometres from the Austrian-Netherlands border. My plan was to gather supporters and Austrian troops, if necessary, to reclaim power.
Wait a minute. I read that you were all for the revolution and change.
I was. But also, I wanted my power back.
I see.
Anyway, we were travelling too slow and my guards were easily recognised, so we got caught in forains. Me and my family were marched back to Paris, and I was now seen as a traitor to France and the revolution.
Gee, I wonder why.
I know, right?
That was a rhetorical question, Louis. So what happened next?
The Assembly had declared war on Austria. They wanted to spread their revolutionary ideas to the rest of Europe, and they were also worried that Austria would invade France and restore me to power. The war went badly for my country. Of course it did. I wasn't in charge. But still, the people blamed me. So they stormed the palace and arrested me. They said they didn't want a king anymore. Unbelievable.
Yes, in fact, your arrest did not make the war go any better.
Nah. Instead, the people stormed the prison holding many of my supporters. They massacred between 1,100 and 1,400 people. This would be a theme repeated throughout the revolution. I was put on trial for treason and trying to flee. It was a kangaroo court.
Kangaroos were in the court?
No, it means the whole case was a farce. The verdict was never in doubt. I was found guilty and sentenced to death.
That is a shame. Do you think you deserved it, Lou?
No. What did I do? I have never massacred anyone. Sure, some of my decisions had negative effects, but I always tried to do what I thought was right. I didn't really want to be king. I wasn't even ready. I just wanted to be a locksmith and trip my servants over.
That's true. Well, that's all we have time for. But what do you think? Do you think Louis deserved to die? Or did he deserve another sentence?